Okay. Can you all see that? Yeah. Now the first lesson here on page 2, there's actually nothing in it for me to show you. The only reason I have this lesson in here is for people to practice using their calculator. Okay? You will find out soon enough, one way to annoy your maths teacher, your physics teacher, your biology teacher, and your chemistry teacher is to get the wrong answer when you use your calculator. Do you understand? So you use your calculator and you get the wrong answer. So why would this happen? Yes, you use the calculator wrongly. And I'm surprised how often that happens. So the first exercise is just for you to practice using your calculator. You see that? It's all about just practice typing those in on your calculator. Okay? I'm so surprised how many people get the wrong answer when they type something in on their calculator, which means they didn't type it in the right way. Okay? So I won't really start on page 2. I'm going to actually start on page 4. But page 2, I want you to do all of page 2 for homework on your calculator. It should only take you about 5 seconds each question. So it should only take maybe 15 minutes to do. Okay? But it's important because you need to practice using your calculator. I know in some high schools, students are not allowed to use calculators. Okay? So some people here, maybe this is their first calculator. Congratulations to you if it is. So just practice using your calculator for the first page. And we'll actually start on page 4 now. Okay. Okay, so linear equations. I might have mentioned this word last week, linear. One of those switches is broken. So linear means line, and you can see that in the word linear as well. So it's helpful this way for remembering what type of equation it is. It's for a line. So what I mean by that is any equation that really looks a bit like this. Now, it doesn't have to look exactly like this, but you might have something like that. That would be linear, or, you know. Something like that. In other words, for linear, the x has just power 1 there. Okay, so that's linear. It's important vocabulary, all right? So make sure you make note of that. Write it down whatever way you want, but linear is for this type. Okay? And I think I also said we will look at this type, of course, and then the next power as well, but not today. Okay, so that's linear, those types of equations. All right, so I'll do some examples for you. Okay, so first example then. Okay, I'm sure everybody remembers how to do this from middle school, but for some people maybe it's been a bit of been some time since they maybe have done this in middle school. So the way these work is that you take the 1 over to the right and it becomes minus 1. So you have 3x equals 7 minus 1. So you get 3x equals 6. And now, be careful here, you bring the 3 underneath. And the reason it goes under is because here it's multiplying the x. Whereas in this one, previously, it was just plus, not multiply, okay? And you can, I know you probably have done this before, a common mistake would be to write minus 3 here. I've seen that plenty of times. Okay, so just be careful. Divide by 3. So you get x equals 2 then. So that's fine. So first example, everybody's still alive. That's great. So we'll go on to the next one now. I'll just give you a minute actually to write that down. So that's the first example. For today? Oh, I'll tell you in a few minutes what ones to do. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I should say this because I forget to say this, but if I write it down, you write it down. So if it's up there, you write it down, okay? All right, so next example. So this one's only a little bit more difficult. Since we are in the west, we will like our x's to be on the left. So when the minus 3x comes to the left, it becomes plus. And then the 5 stays on the right. So we got 5x equals 5. We divide again. We get x equals 1 then. Okay, so write that one down. Yeah, sure, yeah. Do you still have your book, Louise, or did I take it? Do you have it? Okay. All right, so next one now. Now, the next one, you can do it 2 ways. So there's 2 ways to do this one. I'll do it both ways. Just do it whichever way you prefer. So the first way I'll do it, this needs to come over to the left. And then this one here needs to come over to the right. So I get minus 5 over 7x plus 5 over 6x equals minus 3 over 2 plus 3 over 5. Now if you look at the left though, we have an x here and an x here. So the verb that you want is we say we factor out. That's the verb here. So factor out, what that means is you write the x outside of the brackets. So if you hear me say factor out, that's what the verb means. Take the x outside. So again, important vocabulary. Okay, so this is where having your calculator will be helpful. So I would, yeah? Oh yeah, I'm just taking these from the book as examples. I'm basically doing the A question in each one.
No, it's not negative 3.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's just my example, doesn't matter, yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, so if you have your calculator, if you check both, or if you do both of these on your calculator, okay, so the first one here, add them together, and then add these together here. So add these together, tell me what you get. So check it on your calculator. What do you get here? Yeah?
5 over 42.
5 over 42x. Great, okay. And then what do you get here? Great. So it's helpful here to have the calculator. Just like before, we divide. If you want, you can write it over a fraction. You can write it as a fraction like this. I just feel like that's a little bit messy. If you want to, that's okay. But I think it might be a little bit neater if you do it like this. Write divide here. It means the same thing. Okay? It means the same thing. Okay, so if you type this in on the calculator, what do you get? So what have we got here? Minus 189 over 5, yeah? Over 25, yeah? Yes? Yeah? Okay. So that's the answer for that one there. But I said there's two ways to do it. Okay, so I'll do it the other way now. So I'll just give you a minute to write that down. Okay, so the second way to do this. Yeah, okay, second way to do it. Do you have that? Yeah? Not yet? Okay. Okay, yep. So the next way to do it. Yeah? All right. So the other way people... yes, that would make a big difference. Now, the other way to do this one is to get rid of the fractions before you start moving anything. So if you want to get rid of the fractions, you'll need to multiply everything here by 7. So if you multiply everything by 7 first. So you'll get minus 3x, because the 7's here will cancel.
So,
yeah.
it's negative 5 over 7.
For this, oh, okay. Well, I will keep it the same like this. It doesn't matter, it's only an example. So we multiply everything by 7. Okay, so we get minus 3x, and then here minus 14 over 3, because we multiplied this by 7. Multiplying this by 7, minus 35 over 6x minus 21 over 2. So it's just removed this here. But the next number I multiply by, what should that be? 6. And the 6 is quite helpful here because it will get rid of those 3. So we get minus 18x. Now, if I write the 6 here, 3 goes into 6 twice. So it'll be 28 here. 2 multiply 14. This one's great because the 6 and the 6 go. So it's just minus 35x. And then here, 2 into 6 goes 3 times. So that'll be minus 61 then. So now it's no longer, it has any fractions in it. 63, yes. I realized that as soon as I said it. 63. Okay. Now, taking everything, the x's to the left, 35x minus 18x equals minus 63 plus 28. Okay, so what do we get here? 19, is it? Or 28? 17? Yeah? 17x equals, and then what do we get here? 35? Is it?
Yeah,
Minus 35, yeah. Like that. And so our answer is x equals minus 35 over 17. Okay. There you go. So write that down. Now you can see it's a little bit longer, but some people prefer to do it this way. Okay, you got that? Not yet? Yeah, looks like it. Okay, so now the next type. So again, a bit more difficult. So next example. 7x plus 5 over 3x minus 9 equals 2. So this it's not really a linear equation. It's not linear because the x is at the top and at the bottom, okay? But you can very, very easily change it into a linear equation. So that's why I included it. What you do? Yeah, question?
Yeah, the derivative should be multiplied by
Yeah, no, you have the right idea with the wrong vocabulary. It's not called derivative.
numerator.
No, say again?
Numerator.
No, you're thinking of the top. Does anyone know the name of the bottom? Denominator. Denominator, yeah. I better write that down.
Multiply the top and bottom by this time.
Yeah, that's it. You multiply both sides by the denominator. So basically, this comes up here. And that's gone. Which, as you said, is multiplying both sides by the denominator. You don't have to worry about derivative for 6 or 7 weeks, okay? So just denominator for the moment. Now, another verb here. When I multiply the 2 here, what's the verb for that? The verb. I'm looking for a verb here. True, yeah, but this special case of when it's multiplying a bracket. Not C, I don't think so. Expand. Yeah, expand. Expand. Or some people just say open. And you do this multiplying, okay? I usually say expand. But some people say open the brackets, okay? So this here would be 6x, 2 multiply 3, and then minus 18, 2 multiply 9. Yeah? Okay, so we have 7x minus 6x equals minus 18 minus 5. So x, 7x minus 6x, minus 23. Okay? The next bit is important. I need to check if I'm allowed to use the answer. If I go back to the question here was the question. I'm not allowed to use x is 3. And the reason that I'm not allowed to use 3 is because the denominator will be 0. That's very important that you check, because sometimes you will get maybe multiple answers, 2 or 3 answers. And it's important that you check that you can use all the answers. Okay? So pretend that the answer here was 3. If the answer was 3, then in fact we say there's no answer. And it's important to check. So this answer is fine then. We can use it. Okay? Alright, one more example now. So write that down. And please, it is important to make note of this, okay? Please make note of that. It is very important. Okay? By the way, this part's called the denominator. What's the top called? Numerator. Yeah. Not usually important word, because we only ever care about the denominator. Okay, next example. Or last example. Now I want to make sure I get this right. 6x plus 3 minus 4x plus 6 minus 3x minus 9, 2x plus 6. Really the same idea, but you have two denominators here. So this one comes up here to the right, and then this one here comes up to the left. So what you'd end up with is this. 6x plus 3 times 2x plus 6 equals minus 3x minus 9 minus 4x plus 6. Okay? And this actually is a common enough situation that it gets its own name, which I think somebody mentioned earlier. Cross multiplying. Okay? Please learn that word, because you'll make me look bad with the chemistry teacher if you don't know how to do this, because you do this a lot in chemistry. Okay? So when you see something like this in chemistry, you have to say, yes, cross multiplying. We did it in maths class. Okay? So I think in chemistry it might be a little bit shorter. It might be something like, I don't know. It might be something like this in chemistry, okay? Because in chemistry you deal a lot with proportions. Okay? So you use this a lot in chemistry, a lot. So it's good if you know the vocabulary, because when you have Lorraine's class, she might even do this in the first or second class, I don't know, and it's called cross multiplying. I think some people know this vocabulary already, okay? So cross multiplying means you bring the denominators up to make it not a fraction. Okay, now to multiply this, there's actually 4 pieces here. So we do 6x multiply 2x, and then 6x multiply 6. So that's 6x multiplied 2x. That's 12, yeah. 12x squared. And then 6x multiplied 6 is 36x. Get a different color here. And then 3 multiplied 2x, that's 6x. And then 3 multiply 6, that's 18. So these two pieces here was from the 6x, open in the bracket, and then these two red pieces here were from the 3, open in the bracket. So doing the same thing here, I need a bit more space. Okay, so I get 12x squared, and then minus 3x by plus 6, so that's minus 18x. I need to go a bit over here. Actually, zoom out. Where was I? Minus 9 and minus 4 multiplied, so that's plus, with an x, plus 36x, minus 9 and 6, 54. Like that. Can you see that okay? Yeah. Okay. Now, notice, let's see, blue. You have this in it and this in it. So you might be saying, Stephen, you told me we won't do any x squared equations today, you dirty liar. And I said, well, that's still true, because here the 12x squared, they both cancel. You have a 12x squared here and a 12x squared here. So if I bring one to the other side, they both will cancel. So they're actually both gone. Now, I made every question so that this should happen. Okay, so if this didn't happen, it means you made a mistake. So I have 36x plus 6x minus 36x plus 18x equals minus 54 minus 18. So I kept this on the left, this on the left. I took this to the left, became plus. I took this to the left, became minus. Kept that on the right, and then took that to the right. Okay, so again, that's nice because those two go. So here I get 24x, right? Yeah, what's 18? Yeah, 24x, isn't it? And then what do I get? 72 with a minus. So is that 3 times, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I divide it. So dividing now, and I get x equals minus 3. Now, am I finished?
Yeah.
Well, not quite, because I need to check that this answer is acceptable. So if I go back here, I can see that this means x is not equal to,
3.
yeah, which is minus 3, isn't it? Yeah? And then this one here, what's this one mean? What's that one? X is not 3 over 2, isn't it? You see that? Yeah? So, now, what does that mean here for this? It's not actually an answer, okay? So this equation has no solution, really. Okay? Yeah, what did you say? Undefined, yeah, that's it. Undefined, no solution. Okay? Now, it's important that you check that, because later in the semester, we will get equations where it matters a lot for the exam that you check the answers, okay? So for this lesson, it's kind of just helping you to learn that it's important to check answers. You probably know how to find all of these answers already if you remember from middle school, but you might not fully appreciate the fact that you have to check the answers too. Okay? Yeah?
How did you check like that?
How did I get these two here, is it?
2x
Yep.
6 doesn't equal to 0.
Yeah, 2x plus 6 is not to be 0.
Yeah.
Yep. So that means, yeah, x is not minus 6 over 2. And then likewise, minus 4x plus 6 is not to be 0. So x is not, well, the minus will go, so it'll be 6 over 4, or in other words, 3 over 2. Yeah. Now, okay. So just have a look there at your book. I'll tell you which ones to do. By the way, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of questions in this book. Sometimes one of them might be wrong, the answer at the back. If it is, just let me know and I fix it, okay? But at least 99% of them will be right, okay? If you find one that's wrong, just let me know. Have a look at number, oh, by the way, the reason I said that one is because I noticed that this one's wrong at the back. At the back, I have the answer minus 3. If you look at the next page, but I should really say no answer, okay? Yeah. Anyways, page 4. Yeah, the answer's always on the next page. Yeah, page 4. You can work together in a second. You can work together in a second, okay? I'll just tell you which ones to do. So have a look at page 4. Okay, so I want you to do from number 1, F, G, H, I, J. So do those ones there. F, G, H, I, J. Yep. And then from number 2, the same. What I mean by that is all of those ones there. H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Okay. And then the same for number 3. But, yeah, second column, yeah. But for number 4, I just want you to do B and U. B and U. B and U. Okay? Did you get all of that? Yeah. Now you won't have them finished for later today because we think I have one class after lunch, right? So I will check these in the next class, which is Wednesday, is it maybe? You have your timetable, do you? Yeah. So what I want you to do for the last 10 minutes is to start them. Okay, so you can start working on them now. Alright? And don't forget the previous page as well. So you can work together on these now for 10 minutes. Yeah, you might even get all of page 4 done in 10 minutes if you work fast. Okay. Yeah, work on those now, please. You can work together if you want. Yeah. Let me just stop this recording here first.